The Ford Bronco was just spotted with this option that's going to make you go, And also, Toyota is coming out with a brand new vehicle from the ground up. It's just 6 days away, and I think I know what it is. Toyota just dropped an image. It's very interesting. It's called the X Prologue. It's right over there. Did I point in the right direction? No, it's over there. Wait, it's okay. I don't know where it is. I have no idea where it is. Anyways, we're going to take a look at it. Let's zoom in on it and see what we can infer. Toyota says this is a small preview of what's next. I think this is going to be part of a brand new range of EVs. Not a lot of clues here, but what we can see is we have this very distinctive LED shape, this kind of curved light bar that goes, it looks like it goes all the way across the front of the vehicle. And on the hood, we have sort of a 2-level hood here. So if you're into high diving, you can kind of dive from this part of the hood down to here and kind of splash down. Sorry, that's a terrible joke. And then over here, we've got these 3, looks like LED elements, LED headlights. So there's no obvious grille. We do have something below the light bar. Maybe that's a grille there, but there's nothing sort of obvious from this image over here. And then down on the left, it looks like we have something ahead of the rear wheels, some kind of styling element perhaps. So is this a plug-in hybrid? Is this a normal car? Is this a full EV? I'll put on my detective hat here and let's figure this out. So this is over at Autocar, which is a UK-based automotive website. And what they're saying here is Toyota will reveal a new electric SUV next year as the first model in a bespoke BEV platform, battery electric vehicle platform, kickstarting what will be a fast expanding range of electric vehicles. And they go on to say the as yet unnamed model will be similar in size to today's RAV4. Although as a dedicated BEV on a dedicated architecture, it's set to take a new name, and we just know what that name is right now. Toyota says that the SUV has been tailored specifically for the European market and will be built at its dedicated zero emissions factory in Japan. They have a brand new factory for this, actually, for all of their EVs. If you're enjoying today's video, and honestly, who wouldn't, go ahead, slap a like on it. And if you're new here and you want to keep up with future cars and car reviews, please subscribe. It's absolutely free and, it doesn't really hurt. Let's continue our little quest here to figure out what this is. So we know that Toyota in the US is going to be introducing 3 new vehicles this year for 2021. One of them is going to be a plug-in hybrid, and the other 2 are going to be 2 battery electric vehicles, and we don't exactly know what they are yet. So let's actually continue down this little detective path. So apparently in Europe, Toyota is going to introduce 6 new EV models that are going to be co-developed with Subaru. So that is, by my count, 3 more than we get here. But of course, plans always shift around and change. One thing that is true, though, so far is that in Europe, the adoption of electric vehicles has been higher than it has been here in the US. I think that is partly due to the fact that gasoline and petrol, if you're in the UK, and also diesel is more expensive to purchase due to taxes than it is in the US. And just the overall cost of ownership of a vehicle in Europe tends to be higher. So I think there is more of a push towards electrification, and also people want to get pollution down in cities. So that's kind of just my take on the situation, why we have a little bit more EV adoption in Europe. In this interview with Andrea Carlucci, who is the head of product development at Toyota Europe and also marketing with Autocar, this is what he said about these upcoming models. In fact, there is going to be a dedicated plant in Japan that is going to build these electric models. The 6 BEVs the ZEV factory is working on, I had to practice that, are on an optimized, dedicated platform and will be, let's say, new names. As the full electrification mix grows, there will be some need to relook at local model names and understand how to offer accessible offerings. So this is going to arrive on a brand new architecture which is based on the Toyota next generation architecture. It's called the e-TNGA platform, and this is going to be optimized for battery electric vehicles. So this is a brand new platform. So the e-TNGA platform is supposed to be quite adaptable. Right now with so this is an offshoot, obviously, of the TNGA platform, but it has E in front, so it's going to be optimized for batteries. And apparently Toyota is going to be able to use it with a front-wheel drive configuration, a rear-wheel drive configuration, an all-wheel drive configuration, and they're probably going to have some adaptability in terms of how big the battery pack can be, and perhaps even placement as well. So Toyota is really putting a lot of energy into this new platform. If you're wondering how big this is going to be, it looks like it's going to be some sort of SUV type design crossover. I don't know if that's a dirty word or not, but a lot of these smaller vehicles are crossovers. A RAV4 sized SUV was chosen for Toyota's first BEV because the car will be a global model and it offers the best balance to out together the needs of all regions. It's quite obvious that there's volume in more compact models, and this is where we will look in the future with other models for the European market. So clearly, Europe is going to get smaller vehicles than we get here. For example, the CHR that I just reviewed, I'll put a link to it. It's not the highest selling vehicle for Toyota. In the US, it sells like around 40,000 units a year. I think the highest seller in the category is the Honda HR-V. So here's a rendering from Toyota. I think these are the battery packs underneath the floor. You can see it looks like a fairly compact-ish vehicle, definitely an SUV style in design. Kind of a snout nose in the front, and the hatchback sort of looks like it has a bit of an angle, a bit of a slope to the rear window, which is kind of in keeping with the CHR style design. A little bit of a hatchback kind of style. You can see these orange power cables that are going to the looks like the electric motor in the front. Here's another picture from the slide deck. It says fixed. I believe that might be one of the hard points in the vehicle. So we have an electric motor up front. We got the battery packs underneath the vehicle. Looks like another electric motor in the back. I think what we've got here is a concept for these 6 different BEV vehicles that we're going to see globally. Looks like we've got a couple of van type vehicles way over on the right hand side there, and the rest of them look mostly like sort of SUVs, mini SUVs. I see sort of a car like one in the middle here in the gold, and we can see what these different vehicle segments are that they are going after. They're working collaboratively. One is with Subaru. We're going to look at that in just a second. They've also got a partnership with Suzuki, Daihatsu, and they've got different types of crossover sizes. They got the medium crossover, the medium sedan, so that is the sedan we talked about in that last slide, the large SUV, and we've got a medium minivan and a medium SUV, and I assume the medium SUV is sort of a RAV4 sized vehicle.
Alongside, it will be our first ever pure electric car developed specifically for Europe. This will be a mid-size SUV around the RAV4 size and built on an e-TNGA dedicated platform shared with Subaru.
So here's what the partnership with Subaru looks like. They're calling it the e-Voltus. I think that's the way you pronounce it. And it looks like we're going to get this e-Voltus at some point in 2022. I think we're going to see an introduction probably later this year. Timeline isn't quite sure. This, of course, is an unofficial rendering. This is from Motor 1. Let me zoom in on it a little bit. I'm not sure how squared off the final vehicle is going to be, if it's going to look kind of like this. It's pretty cool looking, actually. Let me know down below in the comments if the e-Voltus or perhaps the X Prologue is something that you might be interested in purchasing if you're in North America. This is the concept vehicle that Subaru unveiled a while ago, and I'm sort of getting like a little bit of Cybertruck vibes here as well. Let me know what you think. Here's another shot of it. Here's another angle. I'm getting a little bit of RoboCop vibes here. So here's my biggest question, and sort of still the biggest unsolved mystery is, are we going to get a Toyota version? Are we going to get the X Prologue along with the e-Voltus in North America? Or is Toyota going to leave the e-Voltus exclusively to Subaru in North America and kind of let them develop that market? It's a little bit unclear right now. Let me know if you have any hints or if you have any ideas or any rumors. And by the way, if you do have any rumors, anything unsubstantiated, I'm still willing to hear it. Hit me up on Instagram. It's at RevMatchTV. Next up, we're going to talk about a very weird Bronco option and also sort of get up to date with the latest Bronco rumors and information. So this was spotted from a user over at Bronco 6G. His username is CodyB19. And what we're looking at here appears to be a Bronco with some very interesting fender flares. So this is the Bronco two-door. This was spotted somewhere in Michigan, I believe. And you can see these fender flares, which I'm not really too sure how I think about them or how they look, but they are very, very aggressive looking. They're very prominent. They seem to be quite wide. And what is kind of interesting is the cutout here on the two-door for the fuel filler cap. Because these are so aggressive and because also the fenders are so close to the fuel filler cap, they need to make this cutout. Here's another image from the same user. This appears to be the four-door version, and the cutout for the fuel filler cap is perhaps a little bit less prominent, but we still get the same kind of vibes from these two. Here's a shot from the rear so you can see exactly how wide they are. So let me know down below in the comments what you think of these. Are these like yay, nay, or let me know. And when you're in the comments, by the way, don't use any swear words because YouTube is just going to block those comments. They're going to put them in a part of YouTube, a hidden comment section that I actually never check. So if you want to get your comment in, please don't swear because no one's ever going to see it. So what are these? These are the Bushwhacker fender flares. They're from a company called Bushwhacker. This video, by the way, that's up and playing right now, this is also from the same user on Bronco 6G. So thank you for posting this. It's pretty awesome to see it rolling down the highway. You can actually see the blue vehicle there as well. So here's Bushwhacker. It looks like they specialize in fender flares and trail armor and that kind of stuff for off-road vehicles. The ones on the Bronco seem to have 6 different attachment points. So if you're wondering what these are going to cost, if you do like them, and let's talk about what the potential use for these is. I think if you're going to do some mudding or you're going to have some much bigger tires on this thing, much wider than what Ford is going to give you, something like this actually might be a reasonable option for you. I know I don't think they look that good personally, but it's definitely an option for some people. If you want to know what these are going to cost you at a Ford dealer, and by the way, there's a lot of Ford dealer installed options. Ford is saying like around 200 options initially. Obviously you can get these directly from Bushwhacker, but maybe Ford is an exclusive through the dealers first. I don't really know. That remains to be seen. But if you want to know what they're going to cost, here it is. It's the front fender flare kit, packet style, removable, non-paintable two-door by Bushwhacker. $619 for the two-door. If you want a paintable version, it's going to cost you $549. If you want the paintable four-door version, that is $549, and the non-paintable version is going to be $619. So really, when you think about it though, do you need to have these installed at the dealer? Remember, the Bronco is pretty modular. It's kind of like a Lego. You can take it apart. All the body panels come off basically with just a 10mm for the most part and a hex wrench. I made a video on that last time. You can go check it out over here up in the corner somewhere. You can see how the modularity of the Bronco works and how pretty much every panel comes off. And this is awesome, awesome for the aftermarket. Now, if you're wondering what your prospects of getting a Bronco in time are, maybe they got just a little bit better. I'll let you decide, but over at Bronco 6G here, a user by the name of XCR440 says, Zone Rep just sent out the 10 days ago to conversions email. She said nationally at 42% conversion rate right now. She goes on to say, not really useful info since that includes all reservations, not just the pre-918 ones that affect allocations, and many dealers aren't converting post-918 reservations since they don't count likely and won't be 21s anyway. Still, even with that information, we know that not everybody that has put in their $100 order is actually going to convert it to a Bronco. We don't really know what the exact percentage is, 42% for the entire batch of orders, but I'm thinking that for the initial batch, maybe as much as 50-60% are going to convert them over to Broncos. After all, it's still a fairly expensive vehicle. I think your odds are pretty good. Maybe you'll bump up the line if people don't convert these into orders. So I think that's pretty good news. Maybe you can get yours for 2021. Apparently all the Sasquatch versions, they're going to be pushed out to 2022 as I understand it. My name is Eric. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, like it, and subscribe if you're new. I will see you in the next video. And by the way, this week I've got a 2021 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat Red Eye Wide body, a lot of words, and it is an awesome vehicle. Let me know if there's something you want me to cover.